Good evening, sir. So we'll just start in some 4 more minutes. It's still 4 minutes to go for 6. So we'll just start.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
And I hope visible also.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let me know when we are good to go.
Sir, I think we can start just 1 minute, I think, to 6. So we can start, I think.
Yeah, sure. Sure,
Yes.
no issue.
So, yeah. A very
Yeah.
warm and affable good evening to one and all present here. I, Sanil Sanger, the president of NISHTHA, the Civil Services Society of Hansraj College, extend my hearty welcome to our honorable and renowned chief guest speaker, who hardly needs any introduction, the very well-known and inspirational Mr. Safin Hasan, IPS, respected principal, Professor Dr. Rama Ma'am, esteemed convener, Dr. Mahendra Prajapati sir, and the excited audience for gracing and adding luster to the second session of our 7 days flagship event for the academic session 2021-22, lovingly named Avik with their radiant and cheerful presence. NISHTHA, an innovative and one-of-a-kind society of Hansraj College, is acclaimed to provide a vibrant platform for fervent so am I audible now? I think there was some glitch on my end.
I couldn't listen to you.
So from where should I start then? Sir, were you able to hear the introduction that I gave for you? Maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please go ahead.
Yes. Okay, I was just introducing the society, sir, to the audience and you, that NISHTHA, an innovative and one-of-a-kind society of Hansraj College, is acclaimed to provide a vibrant platform for fervent civil services aspirants to converge and converse. Being one of the most esteemed societies of Hansraj College, it holds the honor of hosting many incredibly prominent personalities in and around the field of civil services. Treasuring the motto of Nishtha Dhriti Satyam, The society is a paragon of the values of truth, dedication, and steadfastness. With this unparalleled flagship event of ours, we aim to cater the needs and demands of the CSE aspirants holistically by bringing to them 7 erudite speakers from the wide spectrum of the services which this profession proffers. Frank Motobo said that it doesn't matter if you work till your back cracks as long as it's worth it. Hard work pays and it always leaves a lasting impression. On this note, I feel so fortunate and ecstatic to announce that to expatiate on the topic, UPSC as an avenue of opportunities, we have with us a personality who is a walking, living, and organic personification of sheer dedication, hard work, and optimism. Mr. Safin Hasan, sir, currently serving as the Assistant Superintendent of Police at Bhavnagar in Gujarat. A true epitome of determination and resilience, Mr. Hasan made up his mind to become a civil servant right from his school days. After completing his BTech from Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Institute of Technology, he tread upon the path of preparation for the coveted examination. And he eventually not only cracked the civil services examination, but also went on to become the youngest IPS officer in India. I wholeheartedly welcome you, sir, on behalf of NISHTHA and Hansraj family, and I request you to kindly take over the forum and initiate your address. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for the kind introduction. I definitely agree to the point that you have, exaggerated certain things. But yeah, thank you again for the warm introduction. And I would appreciate if some of you can actually, switch on your screens so that I will feel that I'm actually interacting with people rather than interacting with a screen only. We'll start the discussion about UPSC as a avenue of opportunities, and then I'll have some question answer session in the end part of the conversation, so that we would be, well guided throughout the conversation. Now, when we start about UPSC as a avenue of opportunities, my personal I would say take on that, and I would start from my personal journey first. I know that many of you might have already listened to me on YouTube, might have gone through many of my interviews. But what I want to focus on is something different today. I want to focus on my thought process, and I want to focus on the opportunities which I saw that UPSC is giving to the aspirants who are going to join the civil service. So many people actually. So are we good with English, right, Sunil?
Sir, I think you can go on in a bilingual mode too, because we have audience
English and
who
English,
have
right?
English and
Okay,
Hindi. Yes.
okay, fine. So yeah, I have got responses in comments bilingual, definitely. So when I said in many interviews of mine that I wanted to be an IAS officer from the primary school, so people just have that doubt in their mind कि जब बच्चा एक प्राइमरी स्कूल में होता है तो उसको कैसे पता होता है कि आईएएस क्या होता है आईपीएस क्या होता है फेंक रहे हैं I would just would like to focus more light on that. That is that when I was in primary school, I never thought of IAS or IPS or something else. I only knew one word, that is collector of the district, because I saw that person coming in my school, and I saw the aura around him. I saw the way he attracted the I would say attention of the entire audience. All the people were on
Audience, I think Sir got disconnected for a while because of some technical glitches, so just have patience, he'll be back soon. Yeah. Sir, you're visible now.
Are we good to go?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So please continue.
Sorry for the technical glitches, everyone. So yes, I was saying that when I was in school, I only knew one word, that is collector, because of all the attractions which I saw. And then later on, when I started going in different events and try to explore what collector is, gradually I came to know about IAS. That IAS is a service which allows you to be, to hold the post of collector. And then later on, when I discovered in my ninth or tenth that okay, how to become an IAS officer, I got to know that okay, civil service is the exam which you have to clear, and UPSC conducts that exam. So by the end of my 11th and 12th, I was pretty clear that okay, UPSC, civil services, IAS, and then collect. So this was the years of my mental preparation for my exploration, that okay, how to be an IAS officer or how to be a collector. Then when I joined my college, I was pretty clear that okay, I want to do civil services and I want to join civil services. So what should I do during those 4 years? So I decided that okay, let me do those tasks only which I'm supposed to do in my professional career. So I started working in NGOs. I started my own two NGOs. I started working with Lions Club. I started doing social activities in my college. I joined many groups in Surat, in my native, and that's how I started building up my attitude that how I'm supposed to work in the field. I have changed my Wi-Fi network now, so I hope this issue should not come again. I have changed my Wi-Fi network now, so I hope this issue should not come again. So what I was telling is that when I now the audio video is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Sorry for the glitches. Uh, so when I joined my college, I was very clear about what I want to do, and that's why I continued my task in the field of NGOs and working with socially active people. Now the point come again. The second question comes that sir, you were determined to be an IAS officer, then why you continued to be an IPS officer? So when I got selected, मेरा जब selection हुआ and when I came to know कि मुझे IPS allot होगा, I was little disappointed for 5 minutes. Uh, मुझे कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कि मुझे खुश होना चाहिए, दुखी होना चाहिए. एंड तब मैंने अपने एक सीनियर से फोन पे बात की कि सर रिजल्ट आ गया है, मैं सिलेक्ट भी हो गया हूँ, लेकिन बिकॉज ऑफ माई रैंक मुझे आईपीएस मिलेगा. तो उस टाइम पे ही सेड टू मी दैट तो फिर इतने दुखी क्यों हो? सो आई सेड सर आईएएस चाहिए था, आईपीएस मिलेगा. दो ही वाज एन आईएएस ऑफिसर. ही सेड टू मी वन थिंग कि लोग लिस्ट में अपना नाम देखने के लिए 4 अटेम्प्ट 5 अटेम्प्ट के लिए तरस जाते हैं. फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में तुम्हारा नाम लिस्ट में है एंड यू आर गेटिंग एन ऑल इंडिया सर्विस, then you should be grateful, you should be happy, and you should enjoy the results right now. तो उसको देख के मुझे लगा कि नहीं, आई शुड बी रियली ग्रेटफुल कि एक्सीडेंट होने के बाद या बीमार होने के बाद भी आई कुड मेक टू द फाइनल लिस्ट, एंड उसमें भी मुझे ऑल इंडिया सर्विस मिल रही है, तो आई शुड बी वेरी हैप्पी अबाउट दैट, राइट. देन आई स्टार्टेड एंजॉयिंग. फिर 2-3 इंसिडेंट्स ऐसे हुए, मैंने काफी आईपीएस ऑफिसर से मिला, काफी पुलिस वालों से मिला, काफी लोगों से मिला जिनका पुलिस के बारे में क्या पर्सपेक्टिव है ये जाना. आईपीएस का जॉब प्रोफाइल क्या है ये जाना, बिकॉज ऑल द टाइम आई वाज ओनली कंसर्न अबाउट आईएएस, तो बाकी सर्विसेज के बारे में मुझे कभी कुछ सोचा नहीं था। जैसे जैसे मैं आईपीएस के बारे में और जानता गया, एंड देयर देयर केम अ मोमेंट कि मैं एक सेमिनार में गया था किसी स्कूल में, जो एक आश्रम है जहाँ पे फिलैंथ्रोपिक बेसिस पे बच्चे को पढ़ाया जाता है। वहाँ पे व्हेन देयर वाज अ क्वेश्चन आंसर सेशन, एक बच्चे ने मेरे हाथ में एक चीट दिया, और उस चीट में लिखा था कि सर क्या आप दारू बंद करवाओगे। व्हेन बाकी सारे बच्चे मुझे माइक पे क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे थे, उस बच्चे ने मुझे चीट देके ये क्वेश्चन पूछा। उससे उस चीट में ना सिर्फ दारू, लेकिन उसने इनविजिबली काफी चीजें लिखी थी, जैसे डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस, जैसे फाइनेंशियल इश्यूज, जैसे रोज की मारपीट, जैसे रोज का सहना। वो सारे इश्यूज देख के मुझे लगा कि प्रोबेबली इस डिपार्टमेंट में रह के मैं और ज्यादा अच्छे से इन इश्यूज पे काम कर सकता हूँ। सेकेंड इंसिडेंट हैपेंड व्हेन आई वाज इन सतारा विद माय इलेक्शन अटैचमेंट, और हम एएसपी के ऑफिस में बैठे थे। उस टाइम भी एक 70 साल की माजी, या आप कह सकते हैं बूढ़ी औरत, वो कैबिन में एंटर होती है, शी स्टार्टेड क्राइंग कि सर मेरे बेटे ने मुझे घर से निकाल दिया है, अब आप ही मेरा सहारा हो। तो सर ने किसी कांस्टेबल को बुलाया और बोला कि भाई जाके इसका इश्यू सॉल्व करके आओ। तो बंदा गया, आधे घंटे में वापस आया कि सर सेटल हो गया है, उसके बेटे को समझा दिया। एंड दैट वाज द मोमेंट आई कुड रियलाइज कि व्हाट पावर खाकी यूनिफॉर्म एक्चुअली होल्ड्स। ये दो इंसिडेंट मेरी आईपीएस की ट्रेनिंग में जब मैं स्टार्ट किया था, तो ये सारी चीजें मिलके आई कुड एक्चुअली अंडरस्टैंड कि मेरा जो एटीट्यूड एंड एप्टीट्यूड है, वो यूनिफॉर्म सर्विस में जितना अच्छे से सेटल हो पाएगा उतना शायद और जॉब में नहीं हो पाएगा। एंड दैट वाज द मोमेंट व्हेन आई डिसाइडेड कि मुझे, अल्दो मैं सेकंड अटेम्प्ट दे ही रहा था, मैं आई डोंट नो समहाउ मैं मेंस भी क्लियर कर गया था, लेकिन व्हेन आई स्टॉप प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर इंटरव्यू बिकॉज आई वाज वेरी क्लियर कि मुझे आईपीएस नहीं रहना है। उसमें दो तीन फैक्टर्स ये भी थे कि एक तो मेरे पास होम कैडर था, सो पेरेंट्स के लिए इट वाज वेरी कन्वीनियंट टू स्टे विद मी। दूसरा, गुजरात में आईएएस आईपीएस दोनों की कंडीशन जो है वो ऑलमोस्ट इक्वल फूड्स पे है, तो दैट वाज आल्सो नॉट एन इशू। एंड थर्ड थिंग कि since I have a long career, I thought that I might have a good career opportunity in future. So ये फैक्टर्स को सोचते हुए मैंने आईपीएस में रहने का जो मेरा डिसीजन था, उसको मैंने कन्विक्शन के साथ अप्रूव किया। Now, since I have come to the part of opportunities in future, that's where I want to now start my real talk about UPSC as an avenue for opportunity. So in civil services, when you actually fill up the form of civil services, you have various job profiles available for you, from IAS to IFS to IPS to IRS, customs, postal, railways, account services, group B में दानिश है. So number of services are there, right? And mostly people only know about 4 or 5, that is IAS, IPS, foreign services, revenue services, and audit and account at max probably. So I would just like to tell you that if you are, you have to decide about two things. There are two things which, two main aspects that you need to make a deal. Some people look for power, some people look for money, right? If you are studying in a very good college, you have good options available. If you want to go for money, I guess civil service is not the case for you. If you want the power and authority, and if you really want to make some substantial changes on the ground level, I guess option two, that is civil service, is a good to go option. What clarification you need in your mind from the very beginning when you start preparing for civil services? That first thing is that कि आप सिविल सर्विसेज में आके दुनिया नहीं बदलोगे। फर्स्ट थिंग यू हैव टू बी वेरी क्लियर। लोगों को लगता है कि आईएएस या आईपीएस करने के बाद आप सब कुछ कर सकते हो, तो ऐसा नहीं। बट यस, आपके अंडर में जो एरिया आता है, आपका जो जुरिस्डिक्शन है, उसमें आप इफेक्टिव चेंजेस ला सकते हैं, राइट? एंड दैट इज व्हाट आईएएस एंड आईपीएस और आईएफएस और आईआरएस फॉर दैट मैटर actually stands for. So this is a well mechanized and well oiled machinery where you have to enter, you have to find your part, you have to find your place, and then you have to start working. Initially we come with the hopes that okay, हम बहुत कुछ बदल लेंगे, हमसे बहुत कुछ हो जाएगा। लेकिन when you actually enter, आपको कभी कभी लगता होगा कि काफी सिविल सर्वेंट जैसे होते हैं जिनसे बहुत सारी उम्मीदें होती है, लेकिन जब वो फील्ड में आते हैं तो we don't see any impactful things being made by them or being done by them. So usme you have to understand there are so many factors working in the bureaucracy. Second thing is that bureaucracy is something which works behind the curtain. not from the curtain. So we are the permanent executives. हमें पर्दे के पीछे काम करना है. Political executives will work in front of the curtain. So you should always be very clear about the fact that okay, if somebody is working really hard in civil services, then also you are not going to be visible, and it should be like that, right? Because you are not elected person, you are selected person. So that clarity should be from the very beginning in the mind that आप जो भी करने वाले हो आपको पर्दे के पीछे रह के करना है. Second thing, opportunity in the sense that, for example, if I take my example, that I'm working as an ASP Bhavnagar for last, I guess, 14 months, right? So what actually I'm doing here every day is listening to number of people who come with their grievances, try to make certain, I try to help them in a certain way, whatever possible way we can. First important thing I do is that I listen to them till the time they want to finish. राइट. तो अगर कोई आके आधा घंटा अपनी प्रॉब्लम बता रहा है तो यू हैव टू लिसन टू दैट पर्सन. तो 70% प्रॉब्लम उसकी वहीं पे सॉल्व हो जाती है. बाकी 30% में आपको देखना है कि एज अ पुलिस ऑफिसर जो आपका डोमेन है उस डोमेन में वो चीजें ठीक होती है. काफी लोग ऐसे भी आते हैं जो अपने कुछ ऐसे प्रॉब्लम्स लेके आते हैं जो पुलिस का बिल्कुल कंसर्न ही नहीं होता. राइट. बट बीइंग एन एएसपी और बीइंग एन आईपीएस ऑफिसर आई विल हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग कि उसको नहीं पता है कि पुलिस का क्या सब्जेक्ट है एंड पुलिस का क्या सब्जेक्ट. बट एक बार मैं उसको सुन लूंगा, उसको अच्छे से ये लगेगा कि सर ने मुझे सेटिस्फैक्टरी सुन लिया है, एंड उसके बाद मैं जो उसको बताऊंगा देयर आर चांसेस कि 70-80% वो मेरे पे बिलीव करेगा और मैं जो सोल्यूशन उसको दूंगा उस पर वो एक्ट करेगा. सो बीइंग एन एएसपी और बीइंग एन आईपीएस ऑफिसर जब मैं भावनगर में पोस्टेड हूँ तो मेरा काम बस इतना ही है कि मेरे नीचे के जो लोग हैं, मेरे नीचे का जो स्टाफ है, वो लोगों को अच्छे से ट्रीट करे, वो लोगों को अच्छे से सुने, वो लोगों को जो ग्रीवांसेस है उसमें कुछ सोल्यूशन लाए, एंड जो क्राइम हो रहा है सिटी में उसको प्रिवेंट करे और उसको डिटेक्ट. somebody sitting in UP or somebody sitting in Bihar sending me messages कि सर ये इश्यू हो गया, इसमें कुछ कीजिए, what of this is that I am not going to do anything. Right? You feel like there are people who believe कि एक बार IAS या IPS बनने के बाद आप हर जगह कर सकते हैं, कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. इट इज नॉट द केस. बट आप अपने jurisdiction में डेफिनेटली इम्पैक्टफुल चेंज ला सकते हैं. So that's the second thing about opportunity. Third thing about opportunity which UPSC gives you is there was a question in my interview, UPSC interview, कि what do you think कि clearing an IAS or becoming an IAS how it will help you personally. So you have to understand one thing, since I have experienced it. When I joined my training in National Police Academy, and after 2 years when I came out of National Police Academy, I was completely a different person. In the sense that you have that exposure in the academy, which makes you, which enables you to interact with the free mind of the nation. We have the attachment with the Prime Minister of India. We have the attachment with the President of India. We happen to visit all the central police organizations, be it CAPF, CBI, ED, NTRO, research analysis in that is law, central ID, and many others, right? So being an ordinary citizen, I don't think we'll be anytime able to visit all such police organizations and interact with the leaders who are heading the organization. But this particular job and this particular training will give that exposure. We happen to visit the Parliament of India for 2.5 days for our attachment, which no other ordinary citizen life will allow, right? We happen to sit in front of the Prime Minister of India for almost 1.5 hours and have very qualitative interaction session also with the Home Minister. So this is just a part of it. Secondly, the kind of personalities which visit the academies, like Chief Justice of India visited the National Police Academy, right? All the retired senior POs visit the NPA. Some famous celebrities visit the institution, and you get to interact with them. So that's a second good opportunity which is being provided by this particular service. Third thing is that the kind of training which you get from this academy it stands. My voice is not too clear. Is it okay or?
So it's proper. I think there is some network glitch on the other person's end.
Okay, it's okay for everybody else. So yeah, the kind of interaction and the kind of opportunities which training academy gives you, uh, those are ample, in terms of quality. So for example, if I talk about myself, I was never a sport kind of person. I was always into studies. And when I joined police academy, I know that I didn't know that I can actually run for 60 kilometers. I didn't know that I can walk for 42 kilometers with 15 kg of load, that too at a constant speed. Uh, you know, within 6 hours, 6 hours 20 minutes. I didn't know that I can do horse riding. I didn't know that I could do swimming. I didn't know that I could, do all those obstacles within prescribed amount of time. So that's where I wanted to focus, that even if I talk about my counterparts, uh, I guess there are some issues with the audio to some people, but if you are saying that it is okay, I'll continue. So yeah, so the kind of, where I was, if I talk about my counterpart, that is IAS also. So Lavasna gives you ample opportunities to interact with the cream mind in the nation. Even the Bharat Darshan part, if you are into IAS or IPS or any other job for that matter, central job, there is a component called Bharat Darshan which allows you to actually move around the country, to call on the chief ministers and governors of particular states, to call on the chief secretaries, to meet the DGPs and other police officers, to have that, you know I won't say privileges, because certain people try to put it in a way that IAS IPS is all about entitlements, but no, that entitlement comes with a lot of responsibility. But yeah, you get the treatment on priority, and you get to meet so many new people during that particular period. IPS के लिए भारत दर्शन is for 2 weeks only. IAS के लिए वो 1.5 महीने का होता है. So that's how it gets little bit different. सिमिलरली आईएएस की जो फील्ड ट्रेनिंग होती है वो 12 महीने की होती है. आईपीएस की जो फील्ड ट्रेनिंग होती है वो 6 महीने की होती है. बाकी की हमारी जो ट्रीटमेंट ट्रेनिंग होती है वो अकेडमी में होती है. सो that's how the things are. Like in academy, you get this many opportunities. Now, once you are out of the academy and once you are in the field, the biggest relief you get, or the biggest, I won't say opportunity, but the biggest uh, perk of this particular job is that you have your network in entire India. If someday I want to have some work in Bihar or some work in Jharkhand or some work in Kashmir for that matter or in Kerala, I have my batchmates all around the country. So I can definitely have that lively, and I can definitely get my task done in easier way. That's the first thing. Second thing is कि जो आपकी सर्वाइवल नीड्स होती है, that is your accommodation, your traveling, and your salary for that matter, वो आपको चिंता करने की जरूरत नहीं रहती. That comes automatically with this particular job, right? You are getting so काफी लोगों का ये ड्रीम होता है कि आप आईएएस या आईपीएस बनते हैं तो आपको सरकारी गाड़ी मिलती है, आपको सरकारी बंगला मिलता है, आपको घर में 2-4 ऑर्डरलीज मिल जाते हैं काम करने के लिए, एंड दैट्स हाउ दिस जॉब इज वेरी lavish. But I would say कि those are not the perks, those are the requirement of this particular job, because as an ASP Bhavnagar, if I'll have to worry about my lunch and dinner, or if I'll have to worry about my stay, or if I'll have to worry about my uniform every day, then probably I won't be able to function in an efficient manner in the field. So that's how it saves your time, so that you can give 100% in the field. और सेकंड थिंग ये भी है कि काफी सारे स्टेट्स में ये फैसिलिटीज अवेलेबल नहीं भी है. फॉर एग्जांपल अपना यूनिफॉर्म मैंने खुद भी बनाया है गुजरात में आके, घर पे खाना भी खुद बनाया है. आई हैव सीनियर्स जो अपना खाना हर रोज खुद बनाते थे. So there are certain issues, but these all are peripheral things, right? I would just advise you, or I just request you that don't ever try to focus on these peripheral things or try to focus on these entitlements. Okay, this comes naturally with this particular job कि आपके पास गाड़ी है, आपके पास रहने के लिए घर है, या फिर आपके पास ऑर्डरलीज है काम करने के लिए, ये सारी पेरिफेरल चीजें, राइट? उस पर फोकस मत कीजिए. The biggest opportunity UPSC gives you, especially if I talk about IAS, IPS, and forest service, where you are directly working in the field. is that you get to deal with so many people on everyday basis, and you get that opportunity to help them in the best possible way. See, अल्टीमेटली काम तो जो करना है वो नीचे की ऑफिस को ही करना है, बट आपके बैठने से, आपके वहां होने से, अगर उस बंदे की बातें वहां ऑफिस में डायरेक्टली सुनी जाएगी, so that means that your presence matters, and your presence has helped an ordinary citizen of India to actually get what he is entitled to. So all the entitlements which we receive are just to ensure that we make sure that the people get what they are entitled for. Right? Being a police officer, when I'm sitting here in Bhavnagar, if someone has got cheated, or if some crime has happened to somebody, it's my duty to make sure that the person gets an opportunity to lodge an FIR. There is a thorough investigation into the case, and the accused is sent to jail, and the charge sheet is being submitted on time. These are the only duties which I'll have to ensure, and to ensure those things, I am sitting here, right? So this is the second phase which I'm talking about. That UPSC actually benefits you in that way. Now the third part of opportunity which I focus, if we want to see on a larger spectrum, is that when currently, for example, I'm working in Gujarat Police as an ASP. Probably next year, I'll be promoted as an SP. Right, I will be working in some district. Then, with coming years, I have that opportunity to work in different organizations. This opportunity is much wider in the spectrum if we talk about IAS. Then once you are working in electricity department, then next you are working in an education department, then you are working in a health department, then you are working in some urban planning department, then you are working in some other department, right? But that is not the case with police services. Here, the spectrum for IAS is very horizontal. The spectrum for police officer is very vertical. So you have to work in one department only. But the kind of opportunity which I get, or any IPS officer you get, is that you get to work. For example, I am working in a district right now. Probably after a few years, I'll be working in maybe anti-terrorist squad, or maybe working in a crime branch, or maybe working in a intelligence branch, or after a few years, maybe I go on deputation and working in CBI, or I'm working in IV, or I'm working in ED, for example, or if I'm working in NTRO, or I'm working in RAW, right? Or any other central organization. Maybe it's ESF, CRPS, or CISF for that matter. So the kind of the job profile and the kind of opportunity I get in various organizations, which will basically help me to enrich myself and enhance my experience, enhance my perspective, and enhance my, I would say, uh, intellectual capabilities by working in various organizations. If I'm working in various organizations like maybe IB or CBI or maybe ED, I get that opportunity to work with the top class of the nation, right? I will be working with many other top dignitaries. I'll be meeting them. I'll be having good interaction with them. So all those things actually count after 3 years in the civil services, and that is possible only with UPSC. Right. So the kind of opportunity which we see in a longer perspective, there are ample opportunities. If we compare it with the corporate world, right? So, for example, if you are joining the corporate after a graduation, or maybe some company, local company, you'll be working with few people initially, maybe a team of 5 or 10. After that, you'll be promoted as a junior manager or manager. Then you will be handling a team of 15 people or 50 people, right? And then you'll be promoted as senior manager. Then you'll be handling the team of 200 people. And after 20 years, you'll be promoted as a VP, maybe, where you will be handling the staff of 400 or 500 after 30 years, 35 years. When I started my career as an ASP Bhavnagar, I have 450 people working under me in police only, right? And I am looking after almost 13 lakh people who live in Bhavnagar subdivision, right? So I am responsible for the safety and security of 13 lakh people, along with working with my 450 policemen, maybe 300 home guards and TRB people and supporting staff, which only UPSC gives, right? Being an additional collector, sorry, assistant collector in a subdivision in the initial year, my counterpart, she is handling or looking after 13 lakh people and various other departments under her, which no private company can actually give you in your initial years, which UPSC actually. And this is much smaller in a spectrum if you compare it with my batchmates who are working in UP or Bihar or some other district, right? So that kind of opportunity, that kind of responsibility only UPSC can give. That's one thing I wanted to compare with the corporate sector. But on the same thing, that person who is working with 15 people or 20 people in the initial years of his career may be earning double than mine, right? His salary or her salary would be double than mine. That is for sure. But that's where you have to, uh, that's where you have to draw the line. But where you actually want to go, right? You want to go for the corporate or you want to go for the civil service. So that's where I wanted to compare it with the corporate sector. So I have tried to give you that. I won't say कि मैंने सब कुछ cover कर दिया है, लेकिन मैंने glance देने की कोशिश की कि कौन से level पे क्या क्या opportunities है. If you talk about training level, you have that opportunity to develop yourself, to groom yourself, and to become an officer. If you talk about initial years of your career, when you are working as an ASP, assistant collector, SP, or collector, where you are dealing with the public directly and you are trying to solve that issue, you are trying to make some sustainable changes in the system. And overall career, when we talk about, when you get to work in different departments, when you get to work in different countries also, like for if you talk about foreign services, so there are ample opportunities that you work in different countries in the world, and you are India. You are representing India in different countries, right? You are the government of India in different countries. So that's a next level of opportunity and chance somebody can get being in civil services. You being an IS officer, you are responsible for policy making. You are responsible for execution of policy, right? So I don't think any other corporate or anything else will give you that opportunity. So in a longer perspective, you get to make a concrete change or a considerable or sustainable change in the democratic functions of this country. If we have a glance in last 70-75 years after the independence, we can see some bureaucrats coming up and making an impactful change in the society. Uh, if we talk about Session साहब जो हमारे election commissioner रह चुके हैं, chief election commissioner रह चुके हैं, and the way he transferred the election system, that is commendable. The way he जो transparency उन्होंने introduce की election system में, वो I think that becomes a watershed in the history of elections. So there comes a moment where you have that opportunity to make a big impactful change in the work, in the way the country is functioning, and that is the chance UPSC can give. Right. So from the beginning, joining the civil service till the time you retire from the civil service, it's full of opportunities. But you'll have to decide, and you'll have to. There are trade-offs between power and money. There are trade-offs between freedom and restrictions. Me being an IPS officer or me being so much famous, there are so many restrictions on my personal life right now. Someday, if somebody asks me, what do you miss the most? My private life and my before service days and the privacy is being missed the most. But it's a trade-off. So you have to decide what you want, and then there is a price you need to pay for what you actually have in your life. So I guess with this, I'd like to conclude the session from my side. And now I'd love to have some questions from your side so that I can, answer some of them.
Yes, sir, sure. Thank you so much for this address, sir. We already have around 60 questions in the question answer box. I'll read out them for you. So we'll just take some major questions. Maybe I've read them, few of them. So we'll just start with the first one, which says it's by Vikas Goyal, and he asked that, sir, first attempt में UPSC crack करने के लिए किस तरह की strategy होनी चाहिए?
See, strategy से ज़्यादा first of all I would say कि never ever go with this perception. मेरे पास काफी experience ये सोच के आता है कि सर हमें पहले attempt में निकालना है. Okay, that is fine, but there should not be the criteria for this strategy. Okay, you need to understand the exam and the nature of it. So with every year, the question papers and uska agar analysis karenge, so the kind of trend which UPSC is showing is actually changing every year and drastically changing. But you have to understand that unpredictability is part of UPSC. What you need to remember and what you need to learn is that कि आपके जो क्वेश्चन पेपर आ रहे हैं वो कौन से पर्सपेक्टिव से पूछे जा रहे हैं. आप पिछले 10-15 सालों के जो क्वेश्चन पेपर है उसको एनालाइज कीजिए, आपके सिलेबस को एनालाइज कीजिए, लिसन टू द टॉपर्स जो रिसेंटली पास आउट हुए. एक सबसे बड़ा इश्यू अभी ये आ रहा है कि people come to me about the book list and about the good coaching, but I would suggest you कि जो recent toppers है आप उनके पास जाइए. Since I prepared in 2017, now it's 2020, 22 is about to start, right? So with the gap of 4 years, 5 years, even I don't know कि अभी what is in the latest trend, but I would suggest you कि आप एग्जाम को समझिए, आप क्वेश्चन पेपर को समझिए, एंड देन आप सिलेबस को समझिए, एंड यू लिसन टू द टॉपर्स. उन चारों चीजों को आप कंबाइन करके अपने लिए क्या सुटेबल है और क्या नहीं है, ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग जितनी जल्दी आप क्लियरली ला सकते हैं उतना जल्दी ये एग्जाम क्लियर होने के चांस.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So the other question is by anonymous attendee, and he asked how to prepare for CSAT. So if you could please give some tips and tricks of going about CSAT.
See, CSAT is qualifying, so it's just like, you have to get maybe around 70-75 marks and you're good to go. But what happens is that we try to have preferences. We tend to have preferences. What? Sorry, what? We try to have that preferences कि मुझे सिर्फ मैथ करना है या मुझे सिर्फ रीजनिंग करना है या मुझे सिर्फ लॉजिक वाले क्वेश्चन करने हैं या मुझे सिर्फ कंप्रेंशन करना है. नो, यू हैव टू डिसाइड द प्रायोरिटी, दैट इज फॉर श्योर कि आपको पहले क्या करना है, एंड देन यू स्टार्ट प्रैक्टिसिंग. सो व्हाट आई डिड वाज, मैंने जब मेरा फर्स्ट सीसेट का मॉक दिया था, आई गॉट ऑलमोस्ट 70 marks, and I was so disappointed that being an engineer, I'm not able to, cross even 100, and I'm at the verge, I'm at the borderline of qualifying CSAT. So what I did was I started from the first question and I ended up on the 88th question. So it took a lot of time for me. Next paper, what I did was I first attended all the comprehension questions and then I started with the reasoning and logic. And my next paper score was 132, and that remained continuous. That remained constant for all the mocks as well as for UPSC exam as well as for the second prelims. So I changed my strategy a bit and I could clear. I could reach up to 130. So you give a mock, you see कि आपका कहाँ पे ज्यादा टाइम लग रहा है, आपको मैथ्स के क्वेश्चन सूट हो रहे या नहीं हो रहे. अगर नहीं हो रहे, what I would suggest you that there are 5 or 6 domains like other reasoning question. इनकी YouTube पे बहुत अच्छे ट्रिक्स अवेलेबल है. तो एक संडे को आप एक टॉपिक लीजिए, उसके ट्रिक्स सीखिए, उसके 100 क्वेश्चन आप सॉल्व कर लीजिए. वो ट्रिक आपकी हो गई, देन मूव टू द नेक्स्ट टॉपिक ऑन द नेक्स्ट संडे. अगेन learn the trick and learn the solve the questions and revise the previous trick once again with the 10 or 15 questions. Next Sunday, third topic, 100 questions, revise last 2 topics. I guess with the span of 6 or 7 Sundays, you'll be able to clear your reasoning and maths part reasonably, which can actually make you clear the CSAT paper. About comprehension, there are so many CAT books available which helps you with the comprehension part, but UPSC का comprehension इतना भी tough नहीं होता जितना CAT में होता है. So I suggest you कि answers में जो है, अगर वो paragraph में है तो that is correct. अगर उसमें कुछ भी अलग है that is incorrect. अगर इतने मतलब इतने I would say ट्रिक के साथ आप जाओगे तो भी comprehension will be very easy. अगर paragraph में लिखा है कि चांद दिन में उगता है और अगर ऑप्शन में लिखा है कि चांद रात में उगता है तो वो ऑप्शन गलत है. बस इतना आप दिमाग में लेके जाओगे तो आई गेस कंप्रीहेंशन विल आल्सो बी इजी फॉर यू एंड सीसेट विल बी क्वालिफाइड. दैट्स ऑल.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. So there's another question from a guy called Pavan Patel, a student, and he says that it's very, I think it's very abstract though, but I would like to just put it to you. Maybe you could answer. He says that there is a lot of content in the market for every single subject, and it really becomes difficult as to where to stop. So if you could suggest a good way to solve this issue.
I would give a simple analogy where if you want to buy a biscuit, there are a number of biscuits available in the shop. Which one you go for? The one which suits you, right? Similarly, there are a number of contents available because there are a number of people who want to earn money. It's as simple as that. But if you analyze the index and if you analyze the content, it's probably the same everywhere. So you stick to the book which you have already purchased or which you are going to purchase from one particular institute or one particular source, and then try to revise it as much time as you can. What happens is that I start with one coaching institution book, and then somebody comes to me and says that इसने और अच्छा दिया हुआ, then I shift there. Once I start reading that one, somebody comes in, ask you for the another reference, you can shift to that. That's not needed, right? Because ultimately, what is your intention? There are only two things you need to cover. That is your static syllabus, which is given very, in a very clear and prescribed way in UPSC notification, right? And second is current affairs. ये दोनों needs आपकी जहां से भी fulfill हो रही, you just go and learn from them. What happens is we start comparing with other resources, other coachings, other students. Toppers के answer sheets लेके बैठ जाते हैं. When we are, see, understand one thing, we are just starting preparation, and the topper has already cleared the exam. तो उसके आंसर क्वालिटी में और मेरी आंसर की क्वालिटी में जमीन आसमान का फर्क होना है. You have to understand that fact first, and then stop comparing, stop reading those answers. You read the syllabus first, you understand the syllabus first, you revise the syllabus or at least for 4 to 5 times, एंड तभी आप उसके आंसर को अपने आंसर को लिखना स्टार्ट कीजिए. देयर मे बी चांसेस कि आपका आंसर और अच्छा हो वापस, राइट? सो इन द गेम ऑफ यूपीएससी कंपैरिजन हैज नो प्लेस. मेक इट वेरी क्लियर.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So there is, like, I have just sort of compiled it. A lot of people have asked this question regarding interviews. So if you could please share some of your experience from your own interview and suggest us some tips and tricks how to go about the interview round, the personality test round.
Okay. When I came out of my interview room, that is personality test room, I felt like dancing, but I couldn't because people were around, right? So it's that easy and it's that comfortable, I would say. It's very subjective though, कि आपका पैनल क्या आ रहा है, आपको कौन से क्वेश्चन पूछे जाते हैं, एंड उनका स्टेट ऑफ माइंड क्या है, आपका स्टेट ऑफ माइंड. बट वो स्टेट ऑफ माइंड बनाकर अगर आप जाओगे फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगिनिंग, बस आपको यही सोचना है कि फर्स्ट थिंग इज कि वो पर्सनालिटी टेस्ट है. सेकेंड थिंग इज कि सामने जो बैठे वो भी इंसान है, आप भी इंसान है. थर्ड थिंग इज दैट कि दे आर देयर टू फाइंड व्हाट इज बेस्ट इन यू, दे आर नॉट देयर टू फाइंड योर फॉल्ट्स. अगर वो ज्यादा क्वेश्चन पूछ रहे हैं तो बिकॉज दे वांट टू इंश्योर कि आप में कुछ ऐसी अच्छी क्वालिटी है जो शायद उनकी आंखों से छुप रही है या उनसे नजरअंदाज ना हो, राइट? सो अगर ये आप दिमाग में रख के जाओगे तो आई गेस उसमें कुछ ज्यादा इश्यूज नहीं है. जस्ट कंसीडर देम एज योर फादर्स प्रोफेशनल फ्रेंड्स, कि आपके पापा के कोई बिजनेस फ्रेंड है जिनसे आप बात कर रहे हो, बस उसी तरह से आपको बात करनी है. एंड आई गेस इट विल गो स्मूथ. मेरा जो इंटरव्यू ट्रांसक्रिप्ट है वो शायद गूगल पे अवेलेबल है ऑन 1 or 2 वेबसाइट्स, so you can go through that. You can see the questions, you can see the answers. I don't claim that I have given good answers or those answers are the ideal answers, but yeah, I could score 204. So I guess those answers will tell you कि आपको मध्यम मार्ग में कैसे चलना. So interview is all about Buddha's मध्यम मार्ग. Even the UPSC journey is all about मध्यम मार्ग.
Yes, thank you, sir. So there is, I think you've already answered this question. Kuldeep asked what type of answers we should write in mains, like what content we should write in it. So if you would like,
which is asked, the content which is asked. So read the questions twice or thrice and then go directly to the point. What has been asked. Introduction, conclusion, and वो सारी कथा चलती है, लेकिन I would suggest कि वो introduction, conclusion also should contain the main theme of the question. मुझे बुलेट्स फॉर्म में लिखना है या पैराग्राफ फॉर्म में लिखना है या ग्राफ बनाना है या मैथ बनाना है, that will depend on your mindset and the available time. So if I am able to explain to the examiner what has been asked in whatsoever form I am comfortable, I should go with that. So मुझे याद नहीं मैंने कोई मैथ बनाया हो या ग्राफ बनाया हो, बट या देयर आर सो मेनी पीपल जो बनाते हैं. तो it depends on the examiner as well as on the experience, but hit the bullseye directly. That is the single line answer I would like.
Thank you, sir. So there is this another question by Priyanka Kamboj, and I think most of the people they have this question regarding newspaper editorials and about how to read standard books. So if you could suggest like some tips and tricks for reading current affairs per se.
दो ही चीज करनी है, आपको डेली न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ना है और आपको मंथली मैगजीन रिवाइज। न्यूज़पेपर आई वुड सजेस्ट यू अबाउट इंडियन एक्सप्रेस, though I was reading The Hindu for a time and then I shifted to Indian Express and then I again shifted to The Hindu. But these days, since The Hindu is much more critical about the government and establishment, I guess it will give your answers also that flavor, which is not good for UPSC aspirants. So to have a balanced point of view and to have a balanced answer, I would suggest you read Indian Express every day. All only those articles which are related to your syllabus. So for that, what is the mandatory condition is that आपको आपका syllabus मुंह जबान याद होना चाहिए, तो ताकि आप immediately decide कर पाओ कि ये particular article मेरे काम का है या नहीं. That's the first thing. Second thing, once you read the newspaper, once you read the editorial, just put it aside and forget about it. What you need to revise is your monthly method. So what I used to do is कि जैसे आज 15th है, 15th of November, तो 15th of November को मेरा अक्टूबर का करंट अफेयर्स का मैगजीन आता है. उसमें 10 सेक्शन होते हैं, पॉलिटी, हिस्ट्री, ज्योग्राफी एंड ऑल. सो हर दिन में एक एक घंटे में एक सेक्शन फिनिश करूंगा. So till 25, I will be able to finish my October part. From 25, I'll start with my September magazine, which I have already read once in my October. Right. So now I'll be finishing 2 segments in one day because I'm revising it now. Right. So again 7 या 8 दिन में मैंने I would say September का finish कर दिया. It comes around 3rd or 4th of December. जब मैं अगस्त का करंट अफेयर्स लूंगा, जो मैंने ऑलरेडी 2 बार रिवाइज कर चुका होगा सितंबर और अक्टूबर में. So now that will take only 5 days probably for me to revise. I reach to 8th of December. 8th of December को मैं जुलाई का मैगजीन उठाऊंगा, जो मैं ऑलमोस्ट 3-4 बार पढ़ चुका हूँ, तो उसको मैं पढ़ने में 3-4 दिन लगाऊंगा. उसके बाद मैं जून का मैगजीन लूंगा. जून का मैगजीन खत्म करते ही 15th of December को मेरे पास नवंबर का मंथली मैगजीन आ जाएगा, which I start reading again. Right. So you see by the end of May और June, आपका जो जुलाई, अगस्त, सितंबर, नवंबर का जो मंथली मैगजीन होगा, वो आप 5-6 बार ऑलरेडी रिवाइज कर. What happens is when we start making notes from newspaper, जैसे for example Prime Minister Modi has visited USA, तो वो जो 4 दिन का उनका विजिट चलेगा, वो एटलीस्ट 7 दिन तक न्यूज़पेपर में आएगा. फ्रॉम द वेरी बिगिनिंग की ये जाएंगे, यहाँ पे अटेंड करेंगे, आज ये पहुंचे, आज ये अटेंड किया, आज यहाँ पे ये बोला, कल ये किया, परसों वो किया, तरसों वो किया. That makes a chronology very clear in your mind, and your monthly magazine will help you to consolidate and understand what that actual visit has given to India and has taken from India. So that is what is important for me to remember, and that is what I am going to write in the exam. So वो मेरा monthly magazine में से revise होगा. And believe me, अगर एक monthly magazine आप 4-5-6 बार read कर चुके हैं, तो आई गेस उसके बाद आपको कुछ भी और याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है. मेंस कंटेंट इज ऑलरेडी रेडी. राइट. एंड रिगार्डिंग स्टेटिक, आप कोई भी बुक उठा लीजिए जो बाकी सारे टॉपर्स पढ़ते हैं, और उसी बुक को आप बार-बार रिवाइज कीजिए. दैट्स मोर देन इनफ.
Thank you so much, sir. So there is this girl called Kashish Arora. This is a personal question, if you could give your opinion on that. She asked that BSc or BTech, which is better if one wants to do UPSC?
UPSC doesn't ask you for any specific thing, right? So any stream is better which actually interests you. I guess there is no significant impact of a graduation in your preparation as well as in clearing your exam. It may help you in your field work. जैसे मैं अगर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स इंजीनियर हूँ, तो अगर साइबर रिलेटेड कोई ऑफेंस आता है मेरे पास, तो आई एम in a good position to deal with that, right? Somebody who has worked in a health, who is a health graduate, COVID में they were in a better position to understand the situation. So there comes a time जब there is one IPS officer in Gujarat who was a civil engineering officer, civil engineer, and now he is working as a police MD of police housing board. So all he is doing is civil engineering work, right? So I would say don't have that particular thing कि ये particular graduation से मुझे फायदा होगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. Graduation is going to remain with you for lifetime. So better है कि give your 100% to your graduation. UPSC is just an exam. वो तो क्लियर हो जाएगा, बट ग्रेजुएशन एक बार करने के बाद आपको बार बार वो मौका नहीं मिलेगा. So focus on your graduation, give your 100% to your graduation, don't compromise with it. And then your 100% to your graduation is in a way giving you a good step for your UPSC.
Thank you, sir. I hope Kashish's question must have got resolved. Sir, there is
Last
this.
question.
Yes, sir, sure, sure.
Thank you.
Sir, so Keshav Bhatir, he asked, sir, what are your thoughts regarding coaching classes? We should take it or not? And so there are a lot of students, I think, who are sort of, they are not in the position to afford coaching classes, and they're confused whether self-study could help them clear this examination. So your views on both self-study as well as coaching classes would be.
See, I would say COVID in a way was a blessing in disguise, because all the institutions have come online now. Most of the content and the video lectures are available on YouTube as well as Telegram. So इवन मैंने पहले भी बताया था, अभी बता रहा हूँ कि कोचिंग इज नॉट अ श्योर वे टू क्लियर द यूपीएससी एग्जाम. सो इफ यू एनालाइज दोस 700 और 800 पीपल जिन्होंने यूपीएससी क्लियर किया है, आई एम श्योर ऑलमोस्ट 60% ऑफ देम वुड नॉट हैव अटेंडेड कोचिंग. सो कोचिंग ज्वाइन करने से देयर इज नो श्योर गारंटी कि आपका एग्जाम क्लियर हो जाएगा, बिकॉज अगर ऐसा होता तो राजेंद्र नगर में लोगों की अलग दुनिया बस चुकी होती है अभी तक. सो ऐसा नहीं है कि कोचिंग से ही आपका एग्जाम क्लियर होता है. ये इन अनदर वे, अगर आपको लगता है कि आप खुद से पढ़ के, खुद लक्ष्मीकांत पढ़ के मुझे पॉलिटी समझ में आ जाती है, एनसीईआरटी पढ़ के मुझे समझ में आ जाती है, आई डोंट थिंक देयर इज एनी नीड ऑफ कोचिंग. ये फीस सिर्फ उनके लिए है जिनको लगता है कि दे नीड एक्सटर्नल असिस्टेंस टू अंडरस्टैंड द सब्जेक्ट. जैसे मुझे आई वाज वेरी क्लियर कि मुझे इकोनॉमी या पॉलिटी अगर पढ़ना है तो आई नीड समबडी टू एक्सप्लेन. So that's why मेरा जो mindset था उस हिसाब से प्रिपेयर था कि if somebody comes and explain me, I'll be in a better position to understand the things. So that was the only and second thing is that it gives you isolation from the main society, so that आपके पास वो daily compulsions नहीं होती किसी की पार्टी में जाना, किसी के घर पे जाना and all stuff. So that was the only reason I decided to go for coaching. So coaching नहीं लेने से भी एग्जाम क्लियर हो जाएगा ऐसा नहीं है, या एग्जाम नहीं होगा ऐसा नहीं है. कोचिंग लेने से भी there is no guarantee कि आपका एग्जाम क्लियर होगा. राइट. सो डोंट बॉदर मच अबाउट दैट. अगर आप फाइनेंशियली साउंड है और आपको लगता है कि आपको एक्सटर्नल असिस्टेंस की जरूरत है, गो फॉर कोचिंग. अगर आप फाइनेंशियली स्टेबल नहीं है और आपको लगता है कि आपको सेल्फ स्टडी करना है, देन आल्सो इंटरनेट इज अ गोल फॉर यू. महीने के 200-300 रुपए के खर्च करने में आप आराम से वो सारे ट्यूटर्स, सारे इंस्टीट्यूशन को घर पे बैठ के देख सकते हैं, पढ़ सकते हैं, समझ सकते हैं. सो कोचिंग जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको एग्जाम क्लियर करवाए.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering this last question. So it was a marvelous experience to hear on such a beautiful topic from an individual like you. I would now like to take a moment to express the vote of thanks on behalf of NISHTHA Society to all who have helped make this event such a grand success. First and foremost, I would like to thank you, sir, for being with us by taking your time out amidst of your busy schedule. Your address was truly inspirational for the student community of Hansraj College and other prominent colleges across India. I wish
we were in touch for quite a long time for different events, I guess, but I was not able to. But I'm sure that one day I would like to visit the campus as well, because I've heard a lot about the particular college. So I hope to see you all someday in the campus itself.
That's very thoughtful of you. Thank you so much, sir. So I'll continue with this. I wish also to record our sincere appreciation for our esteemed principal, Professor Dr. Rama ma'am, and convener Mahendra Prajapati sir, who have always shown keen interest in associating themselves for the activities of the society. I also express my regards for our team members and participants who chose to go live with us, always elevating our morale and zeal to come up with something ingenious each time. Last but not the least, I express my gratitude once again to you, sir. It would be a pleasure for us to listen from you in person as and when the situation improves. पथ में कांटे हैं, रुकावटें हैं, फिर भी चलो तो सही, हिम्मत को तलवार बना, एक कदम बढ़ाओ तो सही. डूब रहा है सूरज और देखो अंधेरा घिरने लगा, बना के मन को रोशनी, अंधेरों से लड़ो तो सही. On this note, I would like to inform the closure of our second session of Avik. I thank all of you for spending your valuable time here. Stay tuned for upcoming insightful sessions with renowned personalities like Mr. Amit Lodha, Sir Suraj Singh Parihar, and others. For more updates, follow us on our social media. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.